Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Entertainment. Republic of China literary giant, exposed by Mushroom House Ye Tian has lived from the Republic of China to the present day. He has seen warlord melee and also seen the red flag rise. Farewell to Kangqiao Again was written by him, and he accompanied Tagore's visit to China. Mr. Shuren regards him as an idol, and Yuesheng is his disciple. He has helped the Red Team eliminate traitors and personally sent the Founding Fathers to study abroad. Some people worship him, some hate him, and some want to kill him, hoping to get rid of him quickly. Beijing style and Shanghai style, Guo Lu's cursing, Southwest Associated University after 100 years. He found his residence, which became the filming location for the 7th season of The Life of Longing For. Sister Zifeng. Grandpa, can we take photos at your home? Ye Tian, who was in a good mood, said, no problem, but you have to take care of my daily life. So, Huang Xiaochef became a chef, Peng Peng became a woodcutter. The life I long for has become different from before. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 Picking Chrysanthemums under the East Hedge, leisurely seeing the South Mountain, 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In April 2023, on the Zilingdal grassland. The boundless green grassland gives a sense of vitality. On the nearby mountains, lush forests give people a sense of mystery. Without the hustle and bustle of the city, without the hustle and bustle of traffic, the beautiful grassland appears peaceful and clean. At the foot of the mountain in the distance, there is a small stream. The stream murmurs, making a clear and bottomless sound of flowing water. Wild flowers are blooming in the grass at the foot of the mountain, emitting bursts of floral fragrance. This is the grassland life that countless urbanites aspire to. A special group of guests has arrived here. A herdsman riding a horse, and a group of brightly dressed artists. That's right, they are the guests who yearn for the 7th season. The yearning for this season is being broadcasted in a new way through live streaming, which has just begun. There are already over 3 million viewers waiting in the live broadcast room. Finally I see my longing again. I waited for a year and finally waited until it aired. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything new this season. There should be some, isn't it, to make everyone feel refreshed? I feel similar. I hope there can be something new. I feel like Peng Peng is losing weight. Sister Zifeng has become increasingly beautiful since she broke up. That's true. Huang Xiaochef's belly has actually grown quite a bit. The audience in the live broadcast room has everything to say, but there is no doubt that everyone is looking forward to this season's live broadcast. After all, the production team has already announced to the public that this season's aspirations will bring some different things to everyone. On this side of the grassland, everyone walked towards the distant mountains under the guidance of the herdsman uncle. Looking at the vast grasslands around him, Huang Xiaochef suddenly became very poetic. At the foot of the Yin mountain in the chilly river, the sky is like a dome, covering the 4 fields. The sky is vast, and the fields are vast. The wind blows and the grass is low, revealing cows and sheep. Accompanied by Huang Xiaochef's recitation, everyone suddenly became interested. Teacher Huang, do you think the author of Chili Chuan lives here? The increasingly beautiful Zifeng sister asked curiously. Yeah, that's too vivid. Peng Peng on the side also nodded and said. The author of this poem should have had experience living on the grassland. Teacher He Jiong nodded at the words and said, although it's only a few short sentences, the description is very appropriate. Although it's not about the grassland here, it's quite similar. Amazing. Everyone nodded in unison. For these artists, the appreciation of this literary work is really a bit high. End. At this point, the herdsman turned his head and said with a smile, Teacher Huang, I have also heard the poem you said. Ah. Huang Xiaochef was stunned and somewhat surprised. Teacher He and others were also somewhat surprised. After all, theoretically speaking, this herdsman doesn't look very cultured. When I wrote this poem, Chili Chuan, back then, I was watching it from the side. The herdsman uncle smiled and said. A simple sentence stunned everyone. The audience in the live broadcast room was in an uproar. Sleeping slot. Is it really fake? Blow it off. Yeah, how could that be? Is this uncle mistaken? How could it be? I don't quite believe it anyway. A herdsman, does he know what poetry is? Yeah, I guess I made a mistake. Not necessarily, it's possible that someone else wrote this, and he thought it was created by that person. Right, right. This is really possible. I remember, this poem seemed to have been written over 40 years ago, as if it was rumored to have been written by a very famous poet. Yes, his name is Ye Tian. I saw his name in the textbook. Yes, yes, it seems like this name is a poet from the Republic of China era. The barrage has already boiled, and everyone is discussing it passionately. After all, these literary works that have been included in textbooks are still very famous. Even though many people may have forgotten the meaning of this poem, the content is still fresh in their memory. On this side of the grassland, a group of people were shocked by the words of the herdsman uncle. They all looked at the uncle in surprise. Before they could speak, the uncle smiled and pointed forward, saying, Here we are. The place where you will live from now on is also the place favored by eternal life. Everyone followed his words and saw several wooden houses rising from the ground at the foot of the mountain not far away. Outside the wooden house, there is a vegetable garden and a sea of flowers. Colorful, breathtaking. Not far away, there is an orchard where people have planted many fruit trees. From a distance, this place seems like a paradise in Tao Yuanming's writings. The transportation across the fields is familiar to both chickens and dogs. This is really picking chrysanthemums under the eastern fence, leisurely seeing the southern mountains. Huang Xiaochef looked at this scene and sighed sincerely. And at this moment, a surprised voice, it rings not far away. What kind of people are you? P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 2. A 100-year-old anti-Japanese war veteran. 2. Find. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you? Not far from Huang Xiaochef and Teacher He, an old man with white hair was asking with a surprised expression on his face. Are you? Huang Xiaochef and others were somewhat surprised and looked at the old man with the same surprise. Ancestors, they are the guests who came to stay. At this point, the herdsman uncle approached with a smile and said to the old man. Ancestors. The long-awaited guests suddenly realized that they had been fussing for a while, and this was the owner of the mushroom house where they were going to live in this season of the life of longing. They had heard before that this mushroom house was borrowed from a respected elderly person in the local area. At first glance, although it's not very clear what the old man's age is, it's obvious that it should be this one. Teacher Huang and Teacher He, this is our ancestor here. He once fought against the Eastern and American devils, and this wooden house belongs to his family. The herdsman uncle introduced Huang Xiaochef and others again. Hush. Upon hearing this sentence, even the audience in the live broadcast room took a deep breath of air. The barrage exploded instantly. This Nima. What an international joke. Having fought against the Eastern devils, haven't you participated in the anti-Japanese war? No wonder it's our ancestors. They must be over 100 years old. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, if you fought against the American devils, it's the war of the 1950s. Amazing. This old man is so awesome. Salute. Yes, salute the veteran. This is a true hero. But to be honest, the old man looks very young. Can it be a script? He, does longing require a script? The audience said everything, but to be honest, they were really shocked. Because no one expected that such an elderly person would appear in this season's Longing. On the Grassland. After listening to Uncle Shepherd's introduction, Huang Xiaochef and others were already foolish. Peng Peng, Yuesheng, and Zifeng's sister, the three young people, looked at this old man with stars in their eyes. Teacher He and Huang Xiaochef also quickly bowed to greet the old man. After all, this is a real hero. As for the idea of questioning, they have no idea at all. This herdsman uncle was specially invited by the program team, he is the township head here. In other words, even if he said that, the old man's identity would naturally not be false. Okay, since you're here, let's stay. The old man had white hair and beard, dressed in a very old-style Zhongshan suit, and said calmly, I live in the main room, and you can use any other rooms you like. After saying these words, the old man turned around and walked towards the wooden house. Huang Xiaochef and others looked at each other, unsure of what to do for a moment. Unexpectedly, this old hero seems a bit reluctant to interact with people. That's how our ancestors liked to live alone. The village had said several times before that they would take him to a nursing home, and the military district also said they would invite him to a sanatorium, but our ancestors simply refused, and we had no choice. The herdsman uncle explained to Huang Xiaochef and others. It was only then that everyone understood that this old man had been causing trouble for a long time, and it was this personality. It's okay, we promise not to disturb the old man's house. Teacher He quickly said. That's good, our ancestors are actually very kind. You'll find out as you get along. Uncle smiled, explained a few words, and then left here. Huang Xiaochef and others saw off Uncle and walked towards the wooden house together. Teacher He, I have checked and found that several wooden houses are well preserved. Let's tidy up briefly and move in. Peng Peng came over and said to Teacher He. The kitchen can also be used. Yuesheng also came over and said. That's good. Huang Xiaochef smiled and said, I thought the production team wanted us to build our own kitchen. While a few people were joking, Sister Zifeng stood in front of the middle wooden house, looking at a plaque on the wooden house with a strange expression. Sister, what's wrong? Seeing Zifeng's strange behavior, Huang Xiaochef raised his voice and asked. Teacher Huang, come and take a look. Sister Zifeng turned her head and greeted Huang Xiaochef and others. Everyone was a bit puzzled, but we still walked over together. The audience in the live broadcast room is also curious, what is going on? After everyone walked under the wooden house, they saw Zifeng's sister pointing to the plaque on the wooden house. There are two words written on it. Humble house, then there is the signature. When everyone saw the signature, they were all stunned. Ye Tian. How do you feel? A bit familiar? P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 3. The Poet of the Republic of China, Ye Tian, 3, Seeking Flowers to Evaluate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Tian. If everyone remembers correctly, it seems to be the author of that poem, Chili Chuan. Teacher Huang, if I remember correctly, Ye Tian should be a poet. The poem you just read was written by him. Teacher He looked at Huang Xiaochef and asked with a smile. Yes. Huang Xiaochef nodded and said, he is a poet from the Republic of China era. His works are not many, but they have all been included in textbooks. The audience in the live broadcast room was immediately confused. To be honest. For some literary works in textbooks, although some people are familiar with them, when it comes to the authors, the impression is not as profound. This is a very normal thing. The question is, why does Mr. Ye Tian's inscription appear here? Teacher, he looked at Huang Xiaochef with a puzzled expression on his face. Huang Xiaochef is also at a loss. The audience in the live broadcast room are even more puzzled. Everyone began to inquire on the barrage. What is the situation? I checked and found out that Mr. Ye Tian is very talented and has indeed written several famous poems. Yes, Farewell to Cambridge Again was written by him. He was a representative of the New Moon poets, but later he seemed to have disappeared. What does it mean? I'm not sure. After the start of the anti-Japanese war, this poet lost his message. Wipe, can't you be killed by the Japanese, right? I don't know then. Among the audience, there are hidden tigers and dragons, and many people have directly started searching for information about Ye Tian online. But the final answer surprised many people. The poet named Ye Tian, although only 4 or 5 poems survived, was very famous during the Republic of China era. However, due to the outbreak of the War of Resistance against Japan, he disappeared thereafter. Some people speculate that he must have passed away during the war. On this side of the grassland, Peng Peng and Yuesheng both looked at Huang Xiaochef. Master, do you know Mr. Ye Tian? Yuesheng asked curiously to Huang Xiaochef. He knows that Huang Xiaochef enjoys reading miscellaneous books and is very knowledgeable about the history of the Republic of China period. Huang Xiaochef nodded and said, it is said that Mr. Ye Tian has deep connections with famous cultural figures of the Republic of China such as Su Zhima and Lu Shuren, especially Mr. Shuren, who was deeply influenced by him. Mr. Shuren once wrote in an article that it was because of Mr. Ye's influence that he realized that studying medicine cannot save this terminally ill nation. Only through writing and revolution can our country become stronger. Upon hearing Huang Xiaochef's introduction, the barrage of bullets in the entire live broadcast room exploded instantly. Sleeping slot. Is it really fake? Mr. Tree Man actually said that. Oh my goodness, then this Ye Tian is also too powerful. Yes, if he were Mr. Lu Shuren's friend, then I would have to admire this gentleman. Without a doubt, he must be a patriotic person. There is no doubt that those who can suggest Mr. Shuren to learn literature to save the country are definitely not bad people. Strange, I haven't heard of this gentleman's deeds in all these years. Probably because he went missing back then. Yes, it's possible. Actually, we should introduce more patriotic poets like this. Huang Xiaochef's knowledge is widely recognized in the industry, and the audience in the live broadcast room also highly recognizes him, knowing that he will not talk nonsense casually. That's precisely why. The audience became increasingly curious about the name Ye Tian. Everyone wants to know more about his life story. In fact, not only do the audience want to know, but Peng Peng and Yuesheng, among others, also want to know. After all, curiosity is a human instinctive reaction. Whether it's celebrities or ordinary people, they actually develop curiosity about the unknown. It's like now, everyone is looking at Huang Xiaochef, waiting for him to continue speaking. Huang Xiaochef smiled bitterly and said helplessly, I'm sorry, I don't know much about this person either. He only has so many records in history and is occasionally mentioned in the memories of others. Upon hearing his words, everyone felt a bit discouraged. I didn't expect this Republican poet to be so mysterious. Can you say that? Has there been no news of him at all? At this moment, Zifeng's younger sister suddenly had a bright vision and thought of something. Looking up, she looked at Huang Xiaochef and others and said, Teacher Huang, do you think it's possible for our ancestors to know Mr. Ye Tian? What? Zifeng's sister's words immediately stunned everyone. P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 4. The Old Man is Ye Tian. 4. Seeking Fresh Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A word awakens the dreamer. Sister Zifeng's words immediately brought everyone back to their senses. That's right. As she said, since Ye Tian's inscription appears in this grassland wooden house, it means that perhaps the owner of the wooden house, the old hero of the anti-Japanese war, also knows him. Thinking of this, Huang Xiaochef smiled and said, "All right, let's put away the suitcase and go ask the old man." After all, they are coming to shoot a variety show, so they must follow the program process. The audience in the live broadcast room also became excited at this moment. Right. Hurry up and ask that old hero. I think the old hero may have met that poet. Almost, he fought against the Japanese back then. Isn't Mr. Ye Tian also from the Republic of China era? Yeah, but don't tell me that this inscription was written by the old hero himself. It's impossible. How could it be? It's not even related. I estimate it was delivered by Mr. Ye Tian. This is possible. With the heated discussion among the audience, Huang Xiaochef and others put away their respective suitcases and gathered together again. The yearning for this season is to use drone aviation filming, and the director's team is only responsible for coordinating the overall situation, leaving the direction of the program to the guests to handle. In the words of producer Zhang Hengxi, the longing has reached the point where there is no way to continue filming without changing. To bring the popularity of the program back to its peak, it is necessary to make changes. So, although the current program process is not quite as they had anticipated before, but neither director Wang Zhengyu nor producer Zhang Hengxi made any adjustments. They just reminded Huang Xiaochef and others through earphones that if filming officially starts, except for the elderly person's main room, the director's team will send people to install cameras in all other rooms. Huang Xiaochef and others naturally understood this truth, so they decided to come together to the entrance of the main room. "Old man, are you at home?" Standing there, Huang Xiaochef respectfully asked softly. Elderly people are respected, let alone old heroes who have fought against Japanese and American devils. Even if Huang Xiaochef is a celebrity, he will not put on airs in front of him. "What's up?" Next second, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Huang Xiaochef and others. Lying trough. The entire audience in the live broadcast room was stunned. Because they didn't see it, how did that old man appear in front of Huang Xiaochef and others? Nima. Damn it, in broad daylight. The entire barrage exploded. What's going on? Who saw how he just appeared? Why does this old man look like that extraordinary expert? Yes, there is a feeling of immortality and integrity. No, the key is, how did he come out? I didn't see him just now, but in the blink of an eye, I stood there. Too fast. I didn't see it clearly. Bully. Isn't this the legendary Kung Fu? The audience in the live broadcast room didn't see clearly. On the program team side, I'm also confused. It's simply outrageous to encounter such a thing in broad daylight. If it weren't for this old man appearing once just now, they would even have thought they had encountered a ghost. Cough, what's that, old man? We have something to ask you. Huang Xiaochef looked at the old man and pointed to the plaque at the door, saying, "Is the person inscribed on this plaque Mr. Ye Tian, the patriotic poet of the Republic of China era?" The old man nodded happily without any hesitation. Subsequently, he said indifferently, "Sir, it's just that he wrote a few poems." Upon hearing his answer, Huang Xiaochef, teacher He, and others immediately beamed with joy. However, the old man's words still surprised them a bit. Huang Xiaochu looked carefully at the old man and said, "Do you know Mr. Ye Tian?" In his opinion, the old man must be acquainted with Ye Tian. Otherwise, the patriotic poet would not have inscribed his residence. And, based on the few words the old man said just now, it has already proven that he and Mr. Ye are at least on equal terms. Can be done in the next second. The old man's words stunned everyone. He nodded lightly and said calmly, "I am Ye Tian. Is there anything wrong?" The live broadcast room suddenly exploded. P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 5. Hot search first, shocking the whole network. 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sleeping slot. What is the situation? Are you joking? The centenary anti-Japanese hero was actually a patriotic poet from that time. I'm dizzy, I'm a bit confused. Can someone explain to me, what exactly is this situation? It's really fake, isn't it a script that I aspire to create? I didn't believe it was a script at first, but the problem is this too outrageous? Yeah, it's hard to imagine. I'm all dizzy. Me too. I'm completely confused. If that's true, it's definitely on the trending list. I want to share on Weibo, I must let more people know. Right, that's what we should do. Many viewers have shared the content of the live broadcast on Weibo. For them, the long-awaited live broadcast today is simply unimaginable. This old man who claims to be Ye Tian is really unexpected. It's unbelievable that he is both an anti-Japanese hero and a poet. In the blink of an eye, this message was posted on Weibo. Within just 10 minutes, it unexpectedly made it to the top 20 trending topics on Weibo. And, with the continuous increase of hot search index, the ranking is still growing rapidly. Gradually, more and more people are paying attention to this news. Netizens are simply dumbfounded. The centenary anti-Japanese hero turned out to be a patriotic poet, yearning for the 7th season is shocking. Is it a script or reality? I yearn to see 100-year-old veteran news of this kind becomes the target of attention for netizens in the shortest possible time. Many people simply leave comments under the official Weibo account they aspire to. Everyone is very curious. Is this true or false? Is it difficult? Is it a script created to increase one's popularity? If that's the case, then the program team of Desired Life has enough courage to hype up such things. You should know. Not to mention anything else, just being a patriotic poet and an anti-Japanese hero is destined to attract huge attention on the internet. If it is discovered in the end that this is a script, then probably no one can withstand the anger of netizens. Even if there is heat, the people who plan this matter will be nailed to the pillar of shame in history. This is not a joke, but a fact. And at this moment on the grassland, Ye Tian looked at the young people in front of him with a puzzled expression on his face. Old man, are you Ye Tian? Huang Xiaochu looked at the old man in front of him and didn't know what else to say. Yeah. Ye Tian nodded and smiled, saying, can I still remember the name I've used all my life? Huang Xiaochu and others were completely dumbfounded. The audience in the live broadcast room also looked bewildered. No one expected this scene to happen. Even if teacher He was the gold medal host, he was momentarily speechless and didn't know what to say. Peng Peng's reaction was the fastest, and he quickly said to Ye Tian, old man, do you have an ID card? In his opinion, having an ID card can prove it. What to do with the same name and surname? Yuesheng frowned on the side and said. Peng Peng was momentarily dumbfounded. Not to mention, it is also possible to have the same name and surname. At this point, Sister Zifeng raised her head and looked at Ye Tian. Dao, Grandpa, are you good friends with Mr. Lu Sun? Tree people. Ye Tian was taken aback by the words, then his expression slightly froze. He lifted his head and looked into the distance, as if recalling something. On his aged face, there was a hint of vicissitudes. After a while, he didn't speak and turned around and walked into his own room. What? What? Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. What is the situation? Many viewers in the live broadcast room are already confused, they really don't understand what happened. Huang Xiaochef and others also looked at the tightly closed door in a strange way. No one expected that Zifeng's sister would just ask Mr. Tree Man, and the old man would turn around and enter the house. What the hell is going on here? Just when everyone was amazed. Half a minute later, the door was pushed open, and Ye Tian stepped out and handed Zifeng's sister a photo album. Little girl, there should be the answer you want. Sister Zifeng instinctively took the photo album, but was confused. But when she opened the album, she was immediately stunned. In fact, not only she, but also the entire audience in the live broadcast room were stunned. P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 6. The Ancestors Who Joined the Army. 6. Find. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If I'm not mistaken, the person in this photo is Zhou Shuren, right? Yes, it's the person who engraved the word morning on the desk. Ba Zi Hu, it's too obvious. It's definitely him. I read it countless times when I was a child, but I had no choice but to memorize his articles. From Baikaiwan to Sanwei Bookstore and Madman's Diary. It's too scary. What's the situation? The people in this photo are Zhou Shuren and Ye Tian. It seems that you can vaguely see it from your appearance. Oh my goodness. So, this old man is really Zhou Shuren's good friend, the patriotic poet Ye Tian. Bull. The audience in the live broadcast room are not blind, they can naturally see the image on that photo. The iconic mustache, along with its stern face and gaze, is a childhood nightmare for countless people. Mr. Lu Sun, whose real name is Zhou Shuren. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. Even Huang Xiaochef, teacher He, and others who approached were stunned. Did you reply to this letter? Ye Tian smiled and looked at the crowd. I believe it. A few people quickly nodded like chicks pecking at rice, so excited that they didn't know what to say. There's no way. Mr. Shuren's reputation is too loud. Throughout the entire Republic of China, it is difficult to find a writer who loves this country more purely than him. You can criticize his personality for being too tough, or you can criticize him for being too sensitive. But his love for this country and this nation is beyond doubt. And the person in front of him was undoubtedly the guide who led Lu Sun onto the path of abandoning medicine and pursuing literature. At this moment, everyone who yearns doesn't know what to say. The audience in the entire live broadcast room was in an uproar. Because this is beyond their cognitive scope. After a long time, Huang Xiaochef was the first to calm down and looked at Ye Tian, carefully asking, "Old man, did you actually go missing later, but went to participate in the anti-Japanese war?" He had read a book before, which recorded that Ye Tian later went missing. Now it seems he should have chosen to join the military. Upon hearing Huang Xiaochef's question, Ye Tian nodded and said, "Yes, after the September 18th incident, I went to northeast China. When he said this sentence, everyone immediately stood in awe. Originally, the old man had participated in the anti-Japanese war since the September 18 incident, and he was definitely a true hero. On the director's side. After the group photo of Lu Xun and Ye Tian appeared, everyone was dumbfounded. Zhang Hongxi and Wang Zhengyu looked at each other, unsure of what to say for a moment. After a while, Wang Zhengyu reacted first and looked at Zhang Hongxi. What should I do? You ask me, who am I asking? Zhang Hongxi said with a bitter expression on his face. I thought he was a veteran of the anti-Japanese war, but he turned out to be a patriotic poet who joined the military and was close friends with Mr. Lu Xun. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Wang Zhengyu nodded. He was about to speak. The tent had already been lifted, and the deputy director in charge of publicity came in and said directly, Director, our program is the top trending topic. The executive director in charge of technical support also rushed in and said, the number of online viewers in the live broadcast room has exceeded 5 million. I suggest contacting the Mango live broadcast platform to increase their servers, otherwise I think there is a high possibility of lag. Hear these two people's words. Zhang Hongxi and Wang Zhengyu's expressions changed. They are very clear about what it means to be the number one on the hot search list and exceed 5 million online viewers in the live broadcast room. Longing for fire. It's really going to catch fire. Think of it here. Both of them saw a hint of determination in each other's gaze. Taking a deep breath, Wang Zhengyu looked up at the executive director and said, contact the technical department of Mango Live platform immediately and ask them to increase the number of servers to 4, and prepare 4 servers for backup at any time. I have a premonition that this old man will give us more surprises. After finishing speaking, he looked at the deputy director in charge of publicity and said, make a promotional poster immediately, put the image of the old man on it, and just say one sentence. Did you spend the Lu Xun text when you were a child? Finally, Wang Zhengyu looked at Zhang Hongxi and said, Old Zhang, please contact the Taiwan company sides and ask them if they dare to take a gamble. Until now. In order to yearn for a comeback in the 7th season, Wang Zhengyu decided to go all out and do something big. P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 7. My student is the founding Marshal. 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 7th season of Desired Life has already arrived. In China, any variety show that has been filmed to this day is already on the decline. This is an undeniable fact. In fact, since the 5th season, Longing has been on a downward trend. The director's team and guests have both attempted to save the show, but unfortunately, the results have been minimal. To this day. Looking forward to starting filming the 7th season, both the director and guests understand that if there is no improvement in this season, it may be difficult to maintain the original cast and continue filming for the next season. So, they set the filming location on the grassland and conducted a live broadcast. And the director's team also plans to have a few guests do hands on labor like in the 1st season. To put it bluntly, this is to rediscover the original intention. But no one expected that on the first day of broadcasting, Ye Tian, a unique figure, would appear on the program. Patriotic poet. Anti-Japanese war veteran hero. When these two identities are combined, the effect produced is not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Both Zhang Hongxi and Wang Zhengyu saw this opportunity. They know that it is very likely that this is the last chance to yearn for a resurgence. So, only Wang Zhengyu made such a crazy decision. At any cost, we must take this opportunity to bind Ye Tian and Longing together. The courtyard of the wooden house is very large, with a stone table and several stone pillars around it. At this moment, Huang Xiaochef and others were sitting around the stone pier, their eyes burning as they looked at Ye Tian. "What are you looking at me for?" Ye Tian smiled and saw the photo album on the stone table in front of him. "Old man, why didn't you tell your friends around you when you joined the military?" Huang Xiaochef asked curiously. "Yeah, even Mr. Zhou doesn't know your whereabouts." Teacher, he also nodded. Upon hearing their words, Ye Tian calmly shook his head and said, "Firstly, I am not throwing my pen into the military. Secondly, I am going to carry a gun to save the country." They use words to warn the people, which is essentially the same, so there is no need to tell them. Everyone was taken aback. The following words are easy to understand, but Ye Tian's first sentence surprised everyone a bit. "Ancestor, didn't you join the army with your pen?" Peng Peng hesitated for a moment before calling out to his ancestors. After all, this person is at least 80 years older than himself, and even older than his own grandfather. It's a bit disrespectful to call him grandpa. Of course not. Ye Tian smiled and then said indifferently, "I was originally a soldier, but I just like to write some articles on a regular basis." Lying trough. Upon hearing Ye Tian's words, both Huang Xiaochef and others, as well as the audience in the live broadcast room, were somewhat surprised. "Are you a soldier?" Huang Xiaochef hesitated a bit and asked cautiously, "Which side of the military are you?" This issue is somewhat sensitive, as it involves the issue of camps during wartime. If Ye Tian really belongs to the category of the Kuomintang, then the program team really needs to pay attention to it to avoid being influenced by the rhythm. Not only them, but also the audience in the live broadcast room are curious. Everyone wants to know what camp this Ye Tian belongs to. However, Ye Tian remained calm and chuckled a few times before speaking, "I don't have much camp. To be honest, among my students, there are marshals and generals." "What? What?" "A stone stirs up 1,000 waves." Ye Tian's words made everyone dumbfounded. The barrage in the live broadcast room exploded instantly after being quiet for a few seconds. "Sleeping slot. Is it really fake? Does he know what he's talking about? It's outrageous, Marshal and General. What international joke are you playing? I'm a bit confused. What exactly is this situation? Is this old man bragging? Marshal and General are both his students. Who does he think he is? Yeah, to be honest, I don't quite believe it. Nowadays, there is everyone. We can't just assume that he is a hero of the anti-Japanese war based on just one photo. Is there any other evidence? Right, come up with evidence. I think the people I long for are a bit hasty. Yeah, I inexplicably believed it. With just one photo, nowadays, anything you want to fake can be fake. Yes, I'm definitely bragging. Inexplicably, someone in the live broadcast room began to question Ye Tian's words. After all, what he said is really outrageous. The founding Marshal and General were actually his students. Does he think he is the principal of Huangpu Military Academy? P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 8. The founder of Huangpu Military Academy, 1, Seeking Fresh. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The audience's questioning is actually justified. The current era is simply too exaggerated. No matter what, there are people who cheat for the sake of popularity and traffic. Some people, in order to divorce, falsely claim to have been subjected to domestic violence, forge scars and identification reports, and send their husbands to hot searches. Some people openly spread rumors claiming to have been molested by a certain writer for the sake of making fun of themselves. It's ridiculous. But the fact is that in today's multimedia era, some people are really doing anything for traffic and popularity. In this way, for netizens and viewers, all they can do is subconsciously question everything. Just like now. A variety show that is on the decline and urgently needs to change, it is not impossible to come up with a fake news. If it's a big deal, just turn around and say you've encountered a scammer. Anyway, there are plenty of popular actors in Hundian. It is understandable for the audience to have such thoughts. But this time, they really got it wrong. On this side of the grassland. After Ye Tian finished saying that sentence, he looked at Huang Xiaochef and others with a dull expression on their faces and said with a half-smile, "Do you think I'm bragging?" "No, no." Huang Xiaochef quickly shook his head and waved his hand, saying, "Old man, don't misunderstand. We didn't mean that, we were just a bit shocked." Haha. Ye Tian glanced at Huang Xiaochef and raised his finger to point at him, saying, "You little devil, you're not honest." With a thud. Sister Zifeng couldn't help but laugh. What is Huang Xiaochef's identity in the entertainment industry? He has been famous for more than 20 years and has been a serious peach and plum blossom enthusiast all over the world. However, in the old man's mouth, he is actually a little ghost and even says he is not honest. It's really interesting. Cough cough, old man, don't misunderstand. Huang Xiaochef quickly waved his hand. This is a live broadcast. He is really a bit panicked. Ye Tian was very calm and smiled, saying, "To be honest, it's not really bragging. I personally brought Jiang Xianyun and He Zhonghan into the Huangpu Military Academy back then, and I won't say the names of a few others. They are all on the list of students in the first phase of Huangpu." After a pause, Ye Tian said slowly, "Of course, I am not the homeroom teacher, but as one of the founders of Huangpu Military Academy, I think I am more qualified than Bald to be their teacher." What? What? After these few words, Huang Xiaochef and others immediately widened their eyes and mouths. What is this old man talking about? He said he was one of the founders of Huangpu Military Academy. What an international joke. On the director's side. Upon seeing this, Wang Zhengyu's eyes lit up and he said directly, "Cut off the live broadcast signal, notify Teacher Huang and Teacher He, shift the topic, and tell the elderly that they need to tidy up the wooden house." Speaking of which, he took a deep breath and was very clear in his heart that the opportunity had really come. Zhang Hongxi was a bit strange. When he looked at Wang Zhengyu, he looked at him seriously and said, "You should communicate with the station and the company immediately. The advertisement here can last for a while, and I will also have someone install the camera." "Okay." Zhang Hongxi nodded, although he didn't know what Wang Zhengyu wanted to do, he also understood that this might really be the last opportunity he longed for. At the filming site, Teacher He received a prompt from the director's team and immediately reacted. He smiled and looked at Ye Tian, saying, "Old man, let's take a break first and tidy up everything. If you don't mind, let's talk later." "Everything is fine." Ye Tian felt very relaxed and said calmly, "It's been a long time since so many people came here." Everyone was taken aback, but at the same time, their hearts were slightly gloomy. It seems that the old man has been living alone for a long time. Thinking of this, Zifeng's younger sister said softly, "Ancestor, don't worry, we will accompany you more." At this moment, she did not regard the old man in front of her as an anti-Japanese hero, but rather as an elder who needed companionship. "Okay, okay, okay." Ye Tian was taken aback and then laughed. Because Zifeng's sister was sitting next to him, he raised his hand, touched her head, and smiled, saying, "You are a good child." Zifeng smiled a bit shyly. And the live broadcast footage has already been turned off at this point. Although the live broadcast has been closed. But the audience in the live broadcast room couldn't calm down. One of the founders of Huangpu Military Academy. This Nima. Are you joking? What a big deal this is. Soon. Someone posted the screenshot directly on Weibo and circled the official Weibo account of Huangpu Alumni Association, which really requires their explanation to be the most reasonable. P.S. New books require support, with a guaranteed 5-day update. 500 flowers plus 1 update, 100 review tickets plus 1 update, 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews plus 1 update. There is a reward of 100 book coins, and 10 updates are available directly. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 9. Clarification Letter from Huangpu Alumni Association. 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In fact, Weibo has already exploded. Previously, it was exposed by netizens that the story of an old hero from the anti-Japanese war appeared in the 7th season of Desired Life, which attracted the attention of netizens. Subsequently, when Huang Xiaochef mentioned the relationship between Ye Tian and Mr. Shuren, and Ye Tian took out his photo with Mr. Shuren, longing has become the top trending topic. Netizens were all shocked. After all, there seems to be a big gap between a patriotic poet from the Republic of China era and a hero in the anti-Japanese war. It's like the current actor suddenly exposed that he once achieved first-class merit. It's simply outrageous. But this matter is not over yet, and someone has revealed that Mr. Ye Tian claimed to be one of the founders of the Huangpu Military Academy in the live broadcast room. Now, it's like poking a hornet's nest. Netizens really can't sit still. As the first new type of military and political school in modern Chinese history to cultivate military talents, Huangpu Military Academy has had a profound influence, a huge impact, and a remarkable reputation, which was unexpected. To put it bluntly, from the establishment of Huangpu to the late 1940s, the entire history of war in the country was inseparable from the influence of this school. Moreover, Huangpu students are a group of young people with ideals and aspirations, and the leaders among them have become senior leaders of both parties, shining with stars in a brilliant starry sky. Is it absurd for Ye Tian to claim to have participated in the establishment of the school in such a place? The entire comments section on Weibo exploded. The official Weibo account that I had longed for before, according to Wang Zhengyu's instructions, urgently produced a poster for Ye Tian. And at this moment, under the Weibo post where the poster was posted, there were all kinds of comments from netizens. What an international joke. I fainted, the founder of Huangpu Military Academy. Why didn't he say he was Mr. Ishian's bodyguard? Haha, that's Du Xinwu. Right. To be honest, I don't quite understand what this means. There is no evidence of this kind of thing, and he is old. No one should be able to refute him even if he says it. No evidence against death. It shouldn't be, after all, he is a veteran of the anti-Japanese war and a patriotic poet. I don't think he should. That's not what they said. Don't those so-called old artists who talk about cross-talk also have the same qualifications? Do you think what they say is human language? It's different, Mr. Ye Tian. I don't think he's a bad person. In the comments section of the entire Weibo account, there are people saying whatever they want. After all, this old man suddenly appeared, and everyone is really a bit confused. These days, there are too many fake news, which makes it difficult for people to distinguish. Letting the bullet fly for a while has become the first reaction of most people. And at this moment, suddenly, someone posted a Weibo post. The owner of this Weibo is officially certified as the chairman of the Shuren Literature Research Society. More importantly, his surname is Zhou. Mr. Ye Tian is indeed a close friend of his great-grandfather. The photo was taken in 1929, during the most rampant era of the White Terror. Mr. Ye traveled back and forth between enemy-occupied areas and base areas, making great contributions to the cause of our party. According to his great-grandfather's diary recollection, he suspected that Mr. Yi was one of the members of the red team. With the release of this Weibo post, there is also a black and white photo, which prominently shows the group photo of Mr. Shuren and Ye Tian. The most important thing is, the photo is front and back, with Ye Tian's signature on the back. As a gift to my friend Shuren. At this moment, everyone was shocked. Does this mean that Ye Tian didn't lie before, and he and Mr. Shuren are really good friends? More importantly, through Mr. Shuren's diary, it can be determined that Mr. Ye's political stance seems to lean towards our party. Red team. That's a sharp knife active in the enemy's heart. If Ye Tian were their member, any doubts about him would be in vain. Just as netizens were discussing and constantly forwarding comments on this Weibo post, an even more shocking news suddenly appeared on Weibo. The official Weibo account of Huangpu Alumni Association has updated an announcement. Mr. Ye Tian was indeed one of the founders of Huangpu Military Academy, and as the first education director of the school, he made great contributions to the establishment of the military academy. With the release of this announcement, another photo of Ye Tian has also been released. In the photo, Ye Tian stands there in military uniform, with a person standing beside him, whose name has appeared countless times in history textbooks. Now, netizens are completely dumbfounded. P.S. New book seeking support, guaranteed minimum payment at 5 p.m., flowers can reach 10,000 today, and 10 p.m. will be given as gifts, the evaluation ticket can reach 500, and 10 more will be given. In addition, with 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews and 1 update, there is a reward of 100 book coins, so you can directly make 10 updates. Kneeling for various data support. Chapter 10. Ancestor, have you ever killed a spy? 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 consecutive clarified Weibo posts immediately dispelled everyone's doubts. After all, neither the descendants of Mr. Shuren nor the Huangpu Alumni Association can provide false testimony for such an unrelated person. In other words, what Ye Tian said was actually true. Netizens are really stunned. I never expected that this season's longing would have such an unexpected surprise. In a moment, the whole Weibo started discussing the 7th season of The Life of Longing 4. Surprisingly, more than half of the hot searches are related to Longing and Ye Tian. More and more netizens are paying attention to this matter. And on the director's side, Zhang Hengshi quickly communicated with Xiangnan TV and the production company of Desired Life. The preliminary conclusion is that live streaming is temporarily normal. Zhang Hengshi said to Wang Zhengyu, what the station means is that the live broadcast can be delayed by 1 minute, which means that if there is any unexpected situation, it will not affect the broadcast. Moreover, the broadcast on the TV station can be edited. This is no problem. Wang Zhengyu nodded, understanding his thoughts on the television station. There is no objection from the company, everything is based on our ideas. Zhang Hengshi said again. After all, the production company is also very clear about the difficulties they are facing today. To put it bluntly, if no changes are made, the investment for the next season's program may be affected. Let's start then. Wang Zhengyu thought for a moment before saying to Zhang Hengshi, Mango Live has already coordinated and increased the number of servers to 4, with 4 additional servers available for backup. That's good. Zhang Hengshi nodded and said, I see that the technical department has just installed the camera. Next, all the members of our program team will withdraw and let teacher Huang and Mr. Yi spend time alone. I think this is more realistic. That's right. Wang Zhengyu took his words seriously. On this side of the wooden house, the staff of the director's team have already left here. Huang Xiaochef and others settled down their things and then came to the yard. Ye Tian was looking at his photo album when he saw Huang Xiaochef and others coming out. He closed the album in his hand and smiled, saying, this person is old and likes to reminisce. Everyone burst into laughter. Huang Xiaochef quickly smiled and said, "Old man, did you know that the Huangpu Alumni Association posted on Weibo and posted a photo of you? When you were young, you looked very handsome in military uniform." Photo. Ye Tian frowned and said, "I seem to have taken a photo over there before, but still." His words didn't go on, instead he glanced at Huang Xiaochef. It is obvious that Ye Tian knows that this name is difficult to mention in front of the camera lens. "Yes, that's the photo." Huang Xiaochef asked cautiously, "Are you very familiar with his elderly family? Have you even killed a spy?" At this moment, even the audience in the live broadcast room are very curious. After all, most viewers have already been educated about the content of those two Weibo posts, especially the photo released by the Huangpu Alumni Association and the person taking a photo with Ye Tian. It's really surprising. Upon hearing this, Ye Tian nodded and said, "When I went to study abroad in France, I sent him and his friends on a boat. Later, in Huangpu, he became the director of the political department. When we met again, we took a photo. Later, when I received news from Mingzhu that Gu Shenzhang had defected, I easily killed someone surnamed Gu and helped them establish a red team." After a pause, Ye Tian smiled and said, "Meeting you again is the time for the Mountain City anti-Japanese war." Upon hearing Ye Tian's words, everyone was stunned. Everyone really never expected that he had such a fate with Huangpu Military Academy and our party. Cough cough, aren't you a literati? Peng Peng on the side said in surprise. Yeah. Ye Tian nodded and said, "I am a literati, but first and foremost, I am a descendant of the Yan and Huang dynasties." Upon hearing this sentence, everyone held Ye Tian in awe. They can feel that Ye Tian truly loves this country and nation. At the same time, everyone is becoming increasingly curious about what kind of things Ye Tian did in the Mingzhu area during those years. He has even killed spies. This old man is not easy. P.S. New book seeking support, guaranteed minimum payment at 5 p.m., flowers can reach 10,000 today, and 10 p.m. will be given as gifts, the evaluation ticket can reach 500, and 10 more will be given. In addition, with 5 monthly passes or 5 book reviews and 1 update, there is a reward of 100 book coins, so you can directly make 10 updates. Kneeling for various data support.